The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, released in 2002. So you may say, what is so strange about a Lord of the Rings game? Well, after the Peter Jackson movies, all these video game adaptations of the movie came out. But this one doesn't use the movie as its basis, it uses the book itself. So this one's going to have a lot of things the movie didn't have in it. Now, I really hate giving away spoilers, but in this one I really can't help it too much. It's going to spoil the book, the movie, and the game itself. And I do have some questions about the end of this game, and I think some of you novel enthusiasts can answer it. So I've never read the book, but I am aware of some of the differences in the story. The plot in this is the Dark Lord needs his magic ring to conquer Middle-earth, but it's in the possession of a hobbit named Frodo. Gandalf the wizard tells Frodo he has to take the rings to the elves and then they'll figure out how to destroy the thing. So the game starts you off as Frodo in your Uncle Bilbo's house, and it's cool to see they built the inside of Bag End. Unfortunately, you're only going to see it for like 2 minutes in the entire game, but still pretty cool. So your first thing you got to do is you got to go give the deed of Bag End to Sackville Baggins' relative. And while you're at it, you get to explore the Shire, which is nice, but it has a population of about 4 people. But it does have a lot of birds you can throw rocks at. There's only one side quest to do in the Shire, remove a metal stick out of a weather vane, and I think this is actually the only side quest in the entire game. It's kind of odd. Anyway, you give the deed up, grab the Ring of Doom, and get ready for your quest. Come nightfall, a Black Rider enters the Shire looking for the ring.
Why is none of my business, or yours?
Now, in the Peter Jackson movie, the Black Riders pretty much just squeal all the time, like, kind of sound like pigs being launched out of a catapult or something. But just like the novel, this one has a little more dialogue for them to speak. You then need to sneak out of the Shire and avoid the Rider. Now this started off quite intense. However, instead of sneaking slowly, I just ran. Once in a while I would hide and toss rocks to distract them. You'll be out of there in no time. I was pursued by wolves in the wilderness, way too many to fight, and this is where the game wants you to try the ring on. So you put the ring on and you become invisible. You can't really use this a lot though because, well, it pretty much kills you if you do, so you won't be using it too often. I then run into another terrifying ring wraith. I toss a rock in front of his face and he's like, "Rah, what was that?" And I run past him. You then arrive at Farmer Maggot's farm. He offers to give you a wagon ride to avoid the wraiths. And you're also joined by your 3 Hobbit companions, Samwise, Pippin, and Merry. Or is this Pippin and that's Merry? I don't know, it doesn't matter really. What matters is my loyal friends have made a pledge.
You can trust us to stick with you to the bitter end. Even though we're horribly afraid, we're coming with you. Or following after like hounds.
They promise to stick to me like glue. In the next scene, all 3 of them get lost in the woods. Yeah, that's a great protection, guys. And now I have to go find them. And I was thinking the ring was my only burden. Now I gotta babysit these 3. This is where you get to really experience the combat against baby spiders. You have a 1-button attack which you can spam into combo hits, and a block button which I rarely used. Not a particularly very engaging combat system. Now this forest maze is rather small, but I got lost in this thing for like an hour looking for these 3 goofs. There's really no map or compass, and I would say that's a good feature. It really helps the whole feeling of being lost or not knowing where you're going. Now I'm in the old forest, and finally together again, I now have 3 AI friends to help me in combat. You can sit there and just watch them fighting sometimes, but they're fairly stupid. They have a really hard time following you. Then suddenly everybody wants to lay down and take a nap. Bunch of useless hobbits. Suddenly this giant tree attacks. It's Old Man Willow. He's got Merry and Pippin stuck in his mouth. Now in this fight you can only attack his tree hand. You can't attack his trunk. If you do, he'll slowly crush Merry and Pippin. Oh, there's some fine animation there. Oh. At the end of combat, out comes Tom Bombadil. Now, apparently a lot of the novel fans were upset he wasn't in the movie, so I was curious about this guy. Is he an amazing fighter or wizard? Let's see how he beats this tree.
You should not be waking, eat earth, drink water, go to sleep. Bombadil is talking.
He just killed that tree with a drunk hobo melody. Is he like a male siren? A Simon? So we have dinner with Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. I imagine that's his wife or something. He tells me if I'm ever in trouble, just sing a song about him and he'll come help. We then come to the Barrow Downs, and again my 3 Hobbit traveling mates have disappeared. There's lots of scary wraith packs to fight and tons of invisible walls to walk into. You'll fight a boss wraith who has a projectile vomit attack. You'll fight for a bit, and to finish him off, you have to sing the song to call Tom Bombadil. Once he arrives, he starts singing again, and his song is so bad, the wraith drills his own body into the dirt to cover his ears from that awful singing. So I land at the Prancing Ponies, supposedly to meet Gandalf the Wizard, but he's not there, so I do meet up with Aragorn.
Good evening to you.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Underhill.
Is this your first time in an inn, Mr. Underhill?
He kind of sounds like Spotswood from Team America.
I see. Well, if you're planning on staying here, you should check with the innkeep. Wait too long and you'll be sleeping in the stables.
So Gandalf isn't here, but the Black Riders are coming. So to fool the Black Riders, Aragorn has this brilliant idea to make the Hobbit decoys. He apparently thinks 2 sticks, a bale of hay, and a watermelon look exactly like a hobbit. I ended up battling some hoodlums on my search, and fighting with Aragorn actually feels a lot better than fighting with Frodo. He's got a nice long sword and arrows for long distance attacks, so the combat was feeling a little better right now. So I eventually find all the decoy parts.
These melons will make fine substitutes for hobbit heads. They will break convincingly in the dark.
What? Why is that important? Why must it smash like a real head? You think the jig would be up after the Nazgul took their first stab, but then again, the Black Riders think rocks sound like Hobbit footsteps. So we head out onto the path to Riverdale to see the elves. I start to realize at this point the combat in this is really broken. All you really have to do is walk backwards and fire arrows. Or have your AI companions distract them and fire arrows. Great. I then run into this monstrous troll. I just sidestep and shoot arrows at him, finishing the battle in about, 40 seconds. Then the Nazgul attack Frodo and mortally wound him. Now in this battle, I did have to get close and fight this one out. They would attack in small waves, and I did find this one a bit of a challenge. I had to heal up a few times in the battle by eating delicious cranberry cakes. It's then back to walking backwards and shooting arrows. We reach Riverdale and the Council of Elrond. Lively bunch, aren't they? It is decided that Frodo will go to Mount Doom and destroy the ring. He will be protected by the Fellowship of the Ring. 9 companions. My 3 useless Hobbit friends, Gimli, Legolas, Sean Bean, Gandalf, and Spotswood. So now I'm using Gandalf, who is a terrible fighter, and other than his healing spell, I found his magic not very strong in battle either. So you know what? I'm just going to try to run through this level, not to fight anything, just to see what happens. I'll just ignore all the hordes of orcs and goblins, and it actually worked. So Gandalf is trying to figure out how to open this door, and the Fellowship is attacked by a kraken. I shoot its tentacles, and it's beaten in less than 50 seconds. Why are the boss battles so short in this? Next, we're in the Mines of Moria. As Gandalf, I just run. Occasionally punching out an orc here and there, but just running and running. The last room in the mine is a stupid puzzle, and I mean a stupid puzzle. You have to move 4 statues onto the floor triggers that are placed directly beside them. Ugh. Alright. Next, Frodo and Gimli are trying to reunite with the others, and they were just with them 5 seconds ago, but okay. So I'm running past orcs with Frodo, and I put the ring on, and now his head is on backwards. Then Gandalf battles with the Balrog of Mordor. This is another very fast, pattern-based battle. You hit him with a spell, and then he gets dizzy, then you hit him with a sword, and then you dodge, and then you just repeat that over and over again. And of course, this is the tragic part where Gandalf falls. Frodo tries to rush to his aid, but it's too late. He's restrained by... But who the heck is that? That's not Aragorn. This was Aragorn 10 seconds ago. Do you see that armor? Who the heck is this? He, of course, is Chester, the 10th member of the Fellowship. He's the guy who just took care of the horses, but because he wasn't officially handpicked by Elrond, he doesn't count. You know, I'm just going to jump to the end here. All you need to know is from here on in, I'm running past enemies or walking backwards and shooting them with arrows. So here's the final part, and big spoiler. Sam is kidnapped by a flying Black Rider. So this is the question I want to ask for you people who read the novel. Did this actually happen? This just seems like a part that wouldn't have got cut out of the Peter Jackson movie. I mean, Boromir didn't die, Merry and Pippin didn't get kidnapped. Is this how the Fellowship novel actually ended? Well, anyway, it's time for the intense final confrontation. Oh, man. The second phase of the battle is about 30 seconds. You shoot a couple of arrows at him, and that's it. The game's done. So, I really wanted to like this game. I really did. I absolutely appreciate another interpretation of a famous franchise. I think that's awesome. But unpopulated towns, invisible walls, 30-second boss battles, broken combat, broken enemy AI, broken companion AI, broken boss AI, graphical glitches, it's just not good at all. The only real draw here is the use of the novel lore not seen in the movie. I really think the developers tried, but lack of budget or being rushed, it just didn't come together well. So unfortunately, the experience just wasn't all that great. So there you have it, The Fellowship of the Ring. Thanks for watching.